the way they calculate unemployment in Nigeria has just changed. All right, the new Nigerian methodology, right, says if the person has not worked for a certain number of time or cannot work, the regular international methodology is once the person is between 15 or 18, right, to 64 and is out of work, the person is unemployed. But in Nigeria, it's a bit more refined, and so when you use that variable, it's actually showing a higher number. We're getting somewhere, please. Okay? Now, Lagos is 2%. 2% of the unemployment population, right, have no earnings at all. That's the husbands. Please listen. It's the husbands we're looking at this morning. The husbands, no earnings. Imo, 2%. Adamawa, 2.8%. And number one on this list this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is River State. And I was shook to my... I'm still shaking just reading this. River State with 4.2%. 4.2%. Now, if I do a rough estimate and say there are 5 million people, right, in River State, rough estimate, 5 million, 5 point something in some demographs, right? 5 million people. Now, if I do 5 million people, all right, and I say 4.2% of them, right, don't have any earnings at all. That's about 225,000. But if we narrow it down, right, to those who are unemployed, and then from that unemployment rate, right, we now put in that 4.2%, the number is slightly higher. Ladies and gentlemen, I put up on my status yesterday, please check on your male friends who are in River State. This morning, I'm asking for those of you whose husbands particularly have lost their jobs within the past 3 years from COVID lockdown to today. It's an open question. We're not here to draw statistics per se, but this is my question directly to the men in River State and indeed to everybody in River State this morning. How is your partner coping with being out of work? You're about to hear some very heavy stories this morning. This is not to dampen your mood. No. This is a social call right now. It's a cry out right now for people to realize that their neighbor might be doing okay, wearing nice clothes, but how's the person really doing this morning? How are they coping? What methods are they employed to try and raise money, particularly for those who have been out of job since 2020? This is a startling revelation. 4.2% demand them in Port Harcourt.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
As always, do well, turn down the volume of your radio set, please. Very important. Number one, cardinal rule. Turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see it, didn't hear it. Please do not make mention of it. Do not make inciting statements as well. And keep your comments civil. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on Twitter. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and Twitter. The numbers to call 0817 923 0002 0817 923 0003. It is a startling revelation this morning. The question is, how is your partner coping now that he or she, particularly he, the husband, out of work? Robin is in Eche, and we have Miriam in Africa. Robin, good morning to you, please.
Hello, good morning. I'm calling from Eche.
Good morning, please.
You see, sometimes when we talk, some people we talk too much. I'm a realistic. I do not talk because I want to talk, but because that is the situation I find myself. Let me tell you, those who know me, they begin to surprise when they hear of a manager, the farmer. Is that not that young man who was traveling to make a living through music? How come he became a farmer? Every day I traverse the bush. I lost my job in that was 2015 when the former governor Wike came in. He threw us away. Timari. He threw us away. And since then, life has not been the same. Today I'm a farmer. I go to the bush. I do everything for a living to support my wife, to make sure I make a living. So when people talk and believe that governance is brick and mortar, I feel very bad that you coming in as a government and what you think to do is to call one company, construct a road from here to there, and that's who you are.
But
there are a lot of things to be done.
Yeah, Robin, I agree. There are a lot of things.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things to be done. You are fortunate. You've been able to get into the agricultural sector. You, like you said, traversing the bushes every day. But there are contemporaries like you who are not making anything. And this number I real that is worrisome. Imagine 200,000 able-bodied men in this state not having anything coming in every month.
It's worrisome. It's worrisome. I tell you, most of my colleagues are dead.
Oh my goodness.
Mostly those of them who don't have where to stay. Some were only rent for 3 years, 2 years and all that. Some married themselves as graduates thinking that their life will improve. So the point we are saying, why these discussions are going on, is for the government of the day to improve.
All right, for the government of the day to improve. Robin, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a word from Marital in Okrika. All right, so we have 2 minutes just before we go on the break. Let's start to read your messages now this morning, please. 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. Once again, it's not my job. I'm not trying to be an alarmist, right? But it was worrisome to get to read that stats. And when I did the math, right, just doing the rough math, imagine over 200,000 people. Look, when you walk around River State every day, right, you don't think you've seen 1 or 2 million people. But just imagine the entire, imagine the stadium, right, near Omagua. Imagine that stadium being full. And they tell you that everybody in that stadium is meant to be able to sit 60,000 people, right? Imagine that they tell you that everybody in that stadium doesn't have a job in River State. And to make things worse, these are married men. Then it gets even more interesting. Not only do they not have a job, those ones do not have anything coming in. My first caller is in the farm, so he's making something. There are those Shingbang, nothing, ladies and gentlemen, nothing. It's very worrisome. of that sort on Hello Port Harcourt. And this morning, it's a revelation about the unemployed married men in Port Harcourt, in Rivers State. The figures from statistics shows that 4.2% of those who are unemployed are married. To make this even more interesting, the husbands don't have any income. That's what it's here. Let me go back to Twitter to read him. Where husbands have no earning. On top of that list is River State. And you will wonder, well, fine, everybody's not going to be in the oil industry or whatnot, but there are other allied industries and there are other, accessory industries and businesses, allied businesses that could come into play, and people can make a living from that. Well, you and probably I know it's not so easy anywhere in the world these days to start a business. Inflation rates double figures almost everywhere on the planet, and so you have to ask yourself right now, how exactly are they coping? That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking anybody to tell me how the government. No. Let's look at the people, not even the numbers now. The people. How do you think they are coping? Prince is calling us from Rumukuta. Prince, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Good morning.
Before this time, everybody in this part of the world used to be employed. They will have the kind of government to have this modern type of government. We have it for now, dress up, put on fire and street, waiting for employment from government. Before every family have their line of business and way of employing them. But there was nobody that was not working before in our state. In African state, before this era, we are now dressed up and even what to eat. We are importing them. So back in the days, we are producing our foods and eating very well. In the change population of Africa, we are the second most populous people continent in the world. We are just behind other India in population, meaning that we are feeding well and procreating very well, producing our medicines and all that. But today, we are talking about unemployment of husbands. By our culture, if you are not employed, you are not business having a wife or children.
So wait, hold on, Prince. Some of these men who are married were married before they lost their jobs. So the question now, I don't know if you know anyone. How do you think they are coping? We're not talking about what the government should do. Yes, we can go hours on that, but let's look at the individuals themselves. How do you think they are coping? How do you think their wives are coping?
The problem is from that concept, idea of waiting and waiting for employment from government or whoever. It's not government's fault. People should be able to find a way to employ themselves one of the other. They don't have to fatal and fast. So those who have lost their job because they have lined up as employable materials. Those who have lost their job, most of them now are going about begging. Wear dress. You approach you and say, my husband is ready. You don't want to do the embarrassing thing. All over that people are begging. They are corporate beggars. Wear dress men who swallow shame and approach you to beg for 1,000 naira.
Corporate beggars. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Hello Port Harcourt. Well, we have Zion standing by in GRA, and we'll get to Zion now. Zion, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
Honestly, that start is staggering, thought-provoking, heart-wrenching, and scary. It has not been easy for such families. That was why there was a time I always praise and celebrate women. And people thought I was just talking. Some even accused me, I praise them, their head they big. My brother, I work in an environment, I see these women. By the grace of God, it's a top-notch environment. These women control their family financially. They take care of everything. And that was what gave me the sensibility to tell them thank you. Women who are taking care of their family, financially, otherwise, they build the houses, they bought cars, they take care of the children's school fees. Madam, thank you very much. See, Jude, one thing we the men, which we are part of our own problem. There was a time I told some of us, since you have nothing doing, go to your village and farm. Some say, oh, why should I send them to the village? Because I too once did it. I went to the farm sometime. Today, I'm a controller of plantation in my community. Here in Port Harcourt, here, over 10 plots. I control it here, also agriculture. The women are trying. And these issues have led to divorce, separation in some homes. Some, the men keep quiet to man, don't talk. If I talk, no, do. They lost their integrity as men. What about those women who does not take nonsense? So women, again, thank you for taking care of the family. It's not a matter of government. It's a matter of individualistic. Before you got married, now you are married, go and also. Again, I am saying, if there is no work, any farm, if your wife don't buy land, go and farm. If there is no land in Port Harcourt, go to your village, go and farm, get something doing, and support her. A lot of women are under pressure financially, taking care of the bills of all these things.
Zion, thank you very much. Dominic, sorry about that, Dominic. We have Marital in Okrika. Marital, good morning to you, please.
Thank you, Jude. Good morning.
Good morning, please.
No, Jude, the figure is staggering, but I'm not surprised, Jude. Have you heard of the adage? I don't know if I will call it an adage or a word that goes around that the reverse man is a proud man. The average Joe man is a proud man. Look, the reason for this amongst our men is simply pride. I'm a reverse woman. You see, the average reverse man will not do menial jobs. He doesn't believe in really starting small and starting dirty. Just if you go to the market stores, the people that are prospering in this estate doing business is our Easterners, our Eastern brothers, and maybe the West, even the Northerners. Look, a colleague told me once that she went to an ATM machine to withdraw money, and Aboki was in front of her. He was trying to struggle with it, so she walked up to him to try to assist him. And he said he wants to check his balance. As she pointed, she saw 2.something million. She looked at him. His slippers was rugged. He was wearing a crochet. He picked this bottle and this iron and this. Look, these people are coming to our state to prosper. But an average reverse man, even the small boy that just finished school, will not. You will see him in the morning, he comes out, they will come out, they talk of politics, they come talk of football, they will go to Niger bed will drag out the little they have. Look, it's just simply pride, Jude. Menial jobs.
So how are they coping? Hello, Marital.
If the white collar jobs don't come, if the big jobs don't come, the ones that when they come out, as if they come out well, they come out with good shoes, solid shirts. If those kind of jobs don't come, sorry, they are not ready.
But Marital, how are they coping? How about the families coping? Because I agree with you. It's possible some of these men are not, creative, or maybe they've been beat down by pride or ego, whatever it is. But how do you think they are coping? Because it can't be all of them. Some of them are genuinely trying to find something to do. How do you think the families are coping? What do you think is going on right now?
Jude, you see, this has put a lot of pressure on women. And you see women hustling. No matter how beautiful they are, some of them because of their children, especially because of their children. Trust me, some of them are not really doing it because of their husbands. They are doing it just to put food on the tables of their children. There's a woman that sells clothes. She carries clothes, a beautiful lady in waterproof bags, and she walks around hospitals to sell, living police. And she told me, she said, look, I cannot sleep if they chase my child out of school for non-payment of school fees. But trust me, our husband will be okay. If you relax, say, what I will do, and I will kill myself. But then I say, I cannot sleep. if my children, in fact, I can't even eat, I must make sure they go to school. So it has put a lot of pressure. That's why you see so many depression. You see women, if you go to the psychiatric hospital, so many women are running mad. Apart from this financial struggles, even emotional struggle they are getting from the men. Some of the men, they put in so much emotion. They put all their emotional, they just dump it on the woman that is even strained to the last string. Look, dude, something needs to go. They need to. I don't know, but especially you, the media, you need to start talking to our men. Trust me.
Iman is speaking to us from Rumbokuta. Iman,
good morning, Rajud.
Good morning, please.
Rajud, this was really a bad news, a bitter information, highly embarrassing. River State of this figure. My candid advice, Brother Jude, as a journalist, is that when we have governments all over the world, beginning from national to local government, is to provide jobs. That is why worldwide we have what we call social contract law. People pay their taxes so that government will use it to provide jobs. But it is not in this case. So I am begging for government to do whatever thing within her power to set up companies, industries, and companies to employ the men, the women, the young boys and girls in the state. I'm not happy because of this figure.
Well, nobody should
conclusively, Jude, by the language of their callers, I've seen that River State is a place where those that eat laugh at those that do not eat. I'm not happy by the callers that are called. Women don't take care of their families. They only contribute. But I've heard someone that said women suffer. Why we are talking of men? Thank you.
We have an anonymous caller this morning. Good morning to you. Welcome, please.
Okay, good morning, Jay.
Good morning, please.
Okay, I am one of them. I'm a father that doesn't have a job. A married man as well. It's not easy at all. And compared to all I've heard.
Oh dear. Please, I'd like to encourage you to call one more time. The call screener is definitely going to keep you anonymous. I cannot stress how important it is that you are able to pick up the call one more time, all right, and talk to us. I want to get to hear from you, please. That's the anonymous caller who says he's one of them. He's out of job right now. He's unemployed. Nothing is coming in. Would like to get to hear from you, please. We have Lolo is in e-warfare, okay, and we have some messages. But let's get to speak to Lolo for a quick minute or two, okay? Lolo, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jude.
Good morning, please.
Thank you very much. The unemployment rate in River State, even in Nigeria in large, is alarming. Do you know one of the cause of it? When you have self-centered leaders, people who call themselves, who made themselves leaders, occupy positions, they turn the hand of the clock to favor them, not to favor the citizenry. If not, as a small boy growing up in Port Harcourt, you see jobs here and there. You either go for the white collar job or you go for the one that can suit your idea.
Yeah,
or the one that you can use physical strength to do.
I understand, but that's the thing. How do you think those men are coping? Thank you very much. Ezekiel is in the warfare. We also have Dominic in the layer one. Ezekiel, go on, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, please.
Well, it's so sad. Like myself, from 2004, I've gotten a job, doing a construction job because the other one is not there. If you take a statistics of River State, you will know that from that time till now, there was no civil service job. And even this very one that just happened, up to now, nothing has happened. People have written, subscribe, have written text online, and we've not heard anything about it. So when people are coming up to say that there's no job, or this has happened, some people feel that, oh, he's just talking. Now you can see that people are really suffering. No job. Construction job is just like a temporary job. You do it for 1 or 2 days and you're out of job again.
But at least you're able to do something. Dominic is in the level. Dominic, how do you think the men, married men in particular, are coping right now? Those who are out of job.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, Dominic.
Yeah, I will say the truth. I heard what other callers were saying. If you go outside River State, most companies left River State to Lagos and Abuja, and some people dropped job. When Intels went down, some family lost their jobs, and people are still doing redundancy in companies in River State. If the amount is going high, it's not that those men doesn't know what they do or what they cannot do. They know what they can put their hands to. But telling a man that has worked a white collar job from the beginning of his life to start going back to farm. What if he does not have farm? There are some people that stays in Lagos and still they don't have farm. How would they cope? Sometimes you say, go and do this. Some men have tried all they could and nothing. Check the rate of suicide this period. It's all about men, married men. Why do men? If you check the statistics, men die more, and it's hurting. You come to River State, everybody's wearing clothes to cover themselves. I was just driving and I parked somewhere. I touched money before. It's not like he's begging for a living. And he doesn't have a farm. He doesn't know. Does he have transport to go back to the village? Some of this menial job, when you get to that menial job and he goes to do menial job, somebody has not done menial job, go and do Obuaja as they used to call it. After going for Obuaja, come back. When comes back and use how much they pay daily pay, 3,000, and use 1,500 to treat himself for pains. What will he feed his family with? We know that yes, the government is not trying, and men are there suffering. We have women that are inputting too, but my brother, it's not really easy for them. It's not really easy. And let's go.
It's not easy for them. Totally understandable. Hello, good morning.
Okay, I called back. The anonymous caller.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience, please.
Like I said, it's not easy at all. No, it's it's a story I would never want to write again. I lock myself sometimes for 3, 4 days, so I don't need people to see that I stay at home. And I manage as much as I can. I've tried genuinely to see how to get a job in every way, but it's not funny enough. It will shock you that I have to go to a building where they have people working to see if I can be one of them help us. The site manager kept giving me go come, and finally he told me that we're not going to pay you because of the way you look. You know, I have this kind of look that makes you feel like I have it all born, there's nothing done. So it's not been easy. My wife has been amazing, super amazing.
But I don't know if you've been listening. Have there been suggestions that you've tried other than maybe going to the sites to work for a day? I know that sectors you've tried to put your hand in, or maybe say something you're good at that you can start on your own. Hello. Oh dear. Oh, this connection is very, very, very vexing at the moment. So that's a man who's going through exactly what we're talking about this morning. Married, income not coming. He's been to sites, he's not been able to secure a spot. I was particularly moved when he said sometimes 2-3 days he doesn't eat. Is that what I heard? Is that what I really heard? Thank God, he's speaking to us from Choba. I get to read messages now. Good morning, thank God.
Good morning, Jude. The system in River State here is very, very bad. The way government has been, they are not really trying. People are suffering, there is no food, people are out of school. The way things is going on is very bad. I don't know this thing is fixing the government and all they are saying it. That is my contribution.
Well, it is bad, and unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, the government will not be able to employ everybody. And I think that's one narrative that we need to continuously remind ourselves. There has to be something within that you can do, right? But it's not so much. Once again, we're not looking at what the government necessarily can or should do, but we're asking a very personal question this morning: how are these individuals coping? That's it. How do you think they are coping? My penultimate caller said his wife has been amazing. That's a lot of pressure. The state of Benue in the middle belt of Nigeria registered by the end of 2020 the highest unemployment rate in Nigeria. In the fourth quarter of 2020, about 43.5% of the labor force in Benue was unemployed. This was accordingly to the most common international definition of unemployment. On the other hand, and this is the very important part of this conversation, according to the Nigerian definition, which I'm going to repeat one more time, the unemployment rate in Benue was around 12%. That means 12% of the labor force in Benue did not work for less than 20 hours a week. There was no job. So this is the new Nigerian methodology to define unemployment. All right. Now it defines the unemployed labor force as those who did not work at all or who worked for less than 20 hours a week. Who worked for less than 20 hours a week or did not work at all. So in either case, you're either not getting money or you're getting very little money. The international definition instead includes people who aged 15 to 64 who were available to work, actively seeking work, but were unable to find work. See how particularized Nigerian definition is? That some people who are going to work, they don't work up to 20 hours a week. Meaning they don't work for up to 4 hours a day if they decide to work 7 days a week. If we use the 5-day week schedule, that means they just barely work 4 hours a day. So they're not making a lot of money. It becomes even more interesting when they don't even work at all. That's the Nigerian definition. Now let's read your messages. At the moment we won't be taking calls. No time to do that. I'm sorry. Okay, now it is not easy to stay without a job. The burden is on us working because we can't see your friend and family going through the pains. Ezekiel, it is obvious now. Many of men are coping with the gains from the inherited lands and houses via rent or sell those lands. Christian, all right. Now, good morning, Jude. About that, I know there is no smoke or fire. RSU employed lecturers, the former moved employment, human development, just over and center. I wait for state something to be October and say state. Jude, we have good raw materials, high manpower rate, production deficit, high importation, also high unemployment rate. Jude, does all these make sense to a human being, educated or not? Not the ingredients, but dying hunger. Fake tax force is what they do to survive. John Promise. Interesting. Now I know this is about to add smoke. I should to his customer. So yeah, maybe you can apply. Alright. What's skill, man? It's right. We do hunting. Okay. All right. So very much for the conversation.
For more talk, news and sports, stay tuned.